Welcome to Kayfabe Only Brother, the internet's premier wrestling audio show.
Welcome back. This is the Grizz. I'm sitting there with Paul and CJ, and for the third week in a row, Adam's not here. So to send a message to Darth Vapor, why don't you care about the fans anymore?
He doesn't care.
Why'd you turn your back on this company?
He doesn't care about them. He went off on his own.
If
he really cared.
Week in, week out for the Kayfabe Only Brother universe.
We're putting in the hours.
We put work in.
We put
work in every fucking day.
Yeah, he's just a hanger-on that's going to show up as we get.
He's out there whining and dining, acting like Ric Flair, while I'm sitting here working like some fucking nerd at a computer.
He's out there growing his hair where it's only the uncomfortable middle length, and then shaving it once it gets to a good length.
I enjoyed that entirely too much.
Adam, you have 2 weeks. If you're not back on this show in 2 weeks, we're posting your name, address, phone number, and picture to our Facebook page, and that's a goddamn promise. 2 weeks. You have till the second show of 2017 to be here.
Also in 2 weeks, if he doesn't show up, we're going to start bringing on replacements for him.
Ooh, I like that, actually. I think it should always be a four-man show.
And the first replacement's going to be the one that reveals all of his personal information.
I think we should have a four-man show and have a banter tag team match.
I would like to test out multiple people.
Scratch this entire program and let's just become an improv group.
You know what? In 2 weeks, if
like the Tenderloin,
we're gonna call our listeners. We're gonna call Ed. We're gonna call Gabe.
Gabe's dying to get on.
I know. So if Adam's not here in 2 weeks, Gabe's getting the call.
I've never heard Gabe's voice.
Gabe, you're listening. Gabe, this is Big Papa Grizz. You're listening live, kind of. You're listening. It's new to you. We recorded it a couple days ago.
I hope your
Adam.
Not too
if
bad.
Adam's not here in 2 weeks, you're on the air.
Gabe,
that's a promise.
Gabe and I are working on a side podcast project.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna podcast on a TV show that we have not discussed yet.
What show?
Well, it can't be Always Sunny because that's my thing.
He's pushing for Everybody Loves Raymond because I haven't watched it. And
you've never seen Everybody Loves Raymond?
Not a single episode.
Vaguely, here and there stuff.
I'm totally in for Everybody Loves Raymond, brother.
We're gonna do Everybody Pods Raymond. We could have done King of Queens, but two queens in a pod sounds like a gay show.
Yeah, also
we would probably have a huge following.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Gay people are great.
Who's the babe?
CJ knows.
Patricia Heaton.
Is that the wife?
Yeah.
But
Patricia Heaton was a babe.
We were inspired by Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs, where Kevin Smith and Matt Mira talk about Frasier episode by episode. So we're gonna do this.
It's clever.
We're possibly doing the definitive Everybody Loves Raymond podcast.
Can you guys do a podcast on our podcast?
Also, any of our other listeners, Mike, Deanna, if you guys want to be on the air, just call us up. You have my number. If you don't, you have my Facebook or Instagram. You can DM me.
I don't think I've ever spoken to Deanna in my life. However, the fact that she turned us on by accident and couldn't turn us off, I would like to have her on the show to discuss why.
It's my favorite wrestling. All right, so let me just tell the other listeners. Deanna somehow her phone accidentally downloaded our podcast.
Accidentally, she did it on purpose.
And she turned it on and couldn't turn it off because we're that damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And then she told our dear friend Charlie, who is a big tuna fish, and
whoa, Future Grizz, that's essentially his full name.
No, nobody knows his real last name.
What do you think the F stands for? It's Charlie Tuna Fish.
I thought it was focaccia.
F?
Yeah, focaccia bread.
There's no F in... Oh, fish. Yeah, all right.
Did you think it was spelled PH?
No, fuck that band.
Anyway,
I
yeah,
know people don't see him on New Year's.
we can even bring on that guy that liked us on Facebook that has no legs.
There's no legs, no life.
No
There was
legs.
also-
He probably also has no legs.
Yeah, there was also 2 people on Facebook
Stop
that
mocking
liked
our
our
supporters.
post recently. You want to talk on the show? Hit us up.
Freaks and geeks, everybody.
I'll call you. I'll call all freaks
Great
and
show.
geeks. And Instagram followers, you got it too. I'll call the bots and weirdos.
Call the bots and weirdos. If we can get some bots on here, that would be great. Just constant advertisement.
I'm really happy that we have a name for our supporters without supporters.
We have 2 names for our supporters.
We have the Weirdos and Freaks and Geeks.
All right. So
We're as
this week,
qualified at wrestling as our truth is.
He's actually very qualified.
Archer's a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah, I actually like our truth, but Little Jimmy's
leave him
funny.
alone. Just because Little Jimmy got in his head.
Is that a Drake reference?
That's what we in the industry call foreshadowing.
Where's Steph?
In the other room, writing thank you cards.
She's writing fan
For
fiction.
what?
She's starting a new job in a day, so she's
so
thinking.
she's writing thank you cards to her old job. She's starting before the new year,
Mm.
so she has to file two.
She starts on Tuesday.
Okay, I'm gonna say she has to file 2 taxes for one day. That would suck.
You just sneezed the mute button. I love it.
What?
Nothing.
I don't know
All
where
right.
the mute button is. I'm on headphones right now.
Grizz, do you have the Raw results, or you want me to look them up?
I assume that's your job. You want to start one on this day in wrestling?
I would like to. We have a very important this day in wrestling.
No,
Okay.
we should do on this day after the recap.
So that's what I have in front of me. But okay, I'll look up the.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while Paul's looking it up, since CJ wants to be difficult, CJ, entertain me.
Okay. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock knock. Banana.
Banana who?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
No, I
you
kind
ready?
of wanted you. I wanted you to keep going, but
I am ready.
Seems like
Okay.
it's the perfect amount of time.
that was the perfect amount of
We
time.
are
All right.
professionals. There is no doubt. There was no dead air on this show.
So before Paul starts us off, Raw and SmackDown both came to us from Chicago, and Chicago's got
From
the
Windy
worst
City.
crowd. The worst crowd for wrestling.
But sometimes they have the best crowd.
For Bulls
That's
games.
That's called foreshadowing.
Oh, okay. This
What?
is a Chicago episode. Holy shit.
This is a Chicago episode.
All right, let's go Bulls.
Chicago episodes of Raw are the second worst kind of episodes of Raw, right behind the taped Europe episodes.
I like
All right,
Europe
Paul.
as a band, though.
I like Asia better.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
But, I mean, Europe was good, too. I guess.
Europe was the final countdown.
Correct the Mundo.
What was Asia? The horse with no name, or was that Toto?
No. The horse with no name was America. No, it's not a joke. That was the name of the band. That sang
I
that.
know. I realized I walked into that one.
You walked right into that one.
You guys want to start a band called Antarctica?
Asia was a super group. It was a bunch of people from other bands.
With
Now,
all
was it
tiny
spelled,
dicks.
Was it spelled like the country?
Yes, it was.
Country. I'm the
Or the
fucking idiot.
You mean the
Was it
continent?
spelled like the continent or the professional wrestler?
It was. Well, how did the professional wrestler spell?
AYSA. She was in the thing. She was in with the General Erection and the Booker T thing. What were they called? The Misfits in Action? Yeah, they were. That's what they were called.
Asia's Soul Survivor, I think, is their big hit.
No, Asia definitely has
The Heat
other
Goes
hits.
On.
That's Glenn Fry.
The Heat Goes On was recorded by Asia. I don't know if it's originally theirs. No, the heat goes on and the heat is on.
Heat of the moment. Heat of the moment.
Fry.
Heat of the moment.
Dude, I'm looking at the Google page. I'm not pulling off the top of my...
So that's Asian. All right, so...
Eric Cartman singing Asian is my favorite version.
Grizz, you're getting really choppy.
I'm sorry. All right, go on.
All right, so Chicago Monday Night Raw.
Maybe it's all really choppy.
There weren't a whole lot of matches on this show.
On SmackDown either.
SmackDown doesn't ever have a lot of matches. It's also a superior show. So it started when Stephanie McMahon came out, and she was in there with Roman Reigns.
Wait. This is unlistenable right now. Something's up with something.
No, I mean, it sounds fine for me.
Yeah, but I'm the one recording.
Maybe it's your ear pods.
No, because the levels are bouncing when you talk.
Oh. Shut back up.
We might want to dial back in.
Wait, want me to try something?
Yeah, go ahead, try something.
Hello.
Yeah,
hello.
Super, choppy.
Loud or choppy?
Wait, ready? Testing. 1, 2. Do.
Ray. Me.
Egon.
It's me. It's
Egon.
Chris is right.
Yeah,
it sounds like when Alex was sick and people thought she was a drag queen on Happy Endings.
I didn't watch that show. I thought you were talking about The Secret World of Alex Mack.
No.
Happy Endings was a fantastic show, and it never got enough play.
You know who was a little girl who never got enough play?
The hip
Velma
lady
from Scooby-Doo.
I'm going to dial back in because this is unlistenable.
You know who else is a hip lady before you... Martha Washington.
Martha?
She was a hip lady.
You know what's cool about Martha Washington? She would keep this country from getting into a fight with Superman and Batman.
No, Martha Washington did...
Wooden teeth.
Did somebody say, what?
I hope that's recording.
No, we're good.
I hope all of this is recording.
No, I missed a couple of things when I canceled. When I stopped the call.
Canceled. That's fine. Anyway, the show started with Stephanie McMahon, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, and Roman Reigns, because that's the way all the shows start.
I'm clapping for Stephanie McMahon taunting the crowd better than the crowd taunting her.
Wait. Are we recording good?
Yeah, we're recording good. We're recording really good.
Well or good?
Really welly good.
Welly good.
Good. It's more gooder?
It's as good as well gets.
Alright, so CJ, you're right.
Isn't that the movie with Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt?
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon did a fantastic job of getting back to the crowd there.
Because it's Chicago and the fans are entitled douchebags and want to make it about themselves, they started chanting about CM Punk.
They always do.
And Stephanie McMahon shut him down, and it was fantastic. I believe she said, if you could chant for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, you would have lasted longer than CM Punk did. She was talking about sexually.
I mean, I wouldn't last that long with his wife.
AJ Lee or Stephanie McMahon?
Either. But AJ Lee was what I was talking about. I mean, I guess with Stephanie, I could picture her as her father if I didn't want to finish. But then picture her as her brother when I did want to finish.
Wait. Wait.
Grizz, when you edit that, I want you to leave the silence. I want you to leave the silence.
Oh no, I totally will.
All right. So they finally decide that Roman Reigns needs to defend his U.S. title, and he's going to fight Kevin Owens. He's going to fight Kevin Owens because that's what the match that happens every week on Monday Night Raw. Sheamus and Cesaro had their rematch with the New Day for the titles. Gentlemen, thoughts on the match?
Didn't see it, but I hear it was good. I hear Evan Woods is doing good work.
Xavier.
No, Evan.
There's nobody there named Evan.
All right,
Evan
Woods is doing good work.
Evan Woods.
CJ, do you watch wrestling?
No.
You just watch the pay-per-views, huh?
I just watch you guys.
That's weird. I need to start putting tape over my laptop camera. It was a really good match, except they refused to tell a different story ever on the show, and Sheamus and Cesaro are still fighting. even after they had that bar brawl. Nia Jax beat Scarlett, jobber, real quick. Charlotte Flair came out and beat Bayley with Dana Brooke as the special guest referee. It's good to know Dana Brooke did not die on the way back to her home planet. She's still around.
Cleveland?
Is she Poochie the dog?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, you thought she was going to die on the way to Cleveland?
Is she from Cleveland?
Yeah.
How do you know where Dana Brooke's from?
Because I follow her on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, Dana Brooke's good people.
Dana Brooks is like everything Grizz wishes Natalia was.
She does Flex Fridays.
What's a Flex Friday?
Funkmaster
Flex song? You take a picture of you flexing. we should start doing Funkmaster Flex Fridays. Somebody remind me tomorrow, and I'll post a picture of Funkmaster. Oh, I'm going to be editing tomorrow. Future Grizz. Post a picture of Funkmaster Flex on our Instagram page tomorrow for Funkmaster Flex Fridays.
It should be Funkmaster Flex, like, with another wrestler who's flexing. So, like, Chris Masters and Funkmaster Flex.
Wait, why did you say another wrestler?
Funkmaster Flex is not
Funkmaster Flex isn't a wrestler.
Yeah, you're right.
Funkmaster Flex and that pay-per-view we watched a couple of weeks ago, both presented by Lugs. Remember that old company?
The old company?
Lugs.
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 You don't remember Lugs?
Yeah. Lugs.
Yeah, I remember Lugs.
Boot of the week.
Are they still around?
No. There's no chance.
I feel like we had this conversation at least twice on air.
Alright, T.J. Perkins came out and lost to the newly evil Neville. And then Neville cut a pretty good promo.
CJ, I just saw that picture. CJ, your Bumble match, woof.
Not a match.
Oh, she's got higher standards than you.
No, I did not swipe right.
All right. Go back to your Neville discussion, Paul.
Neville, you got my audio jack just unplugged, so you guys are going to hear yourself talking. Neville did a pretty good promo about how American fans only talked about him to make fun of his accent and how ugly he is, and actually he's a really ugly dude, so it works.
He is a super ugly dude.
Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman. Seth Rollins did all of the things in this match that Sami Zayn should have done at the pay-per-view. It ended in no contest because Sami Zayn came out and attacked Strowman, and next week, last man standing match, Zayn, Strowman, Monday Night Raw.
Is Seth Rollins a heel?
No.
Not Seth Rollins. I'm serious. Sami Zayn, is he a heel?
No.
He does heelish things.
Like what?
Interrupt matches he has nothing to deal with?
Be a little weasel.
Cry.
You guys are turning on Sami Zayn here?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
He should be
he might as well be Adam.
I don't know who Adam is.
Neither do we.
Exactly.
He shouldn't be so mean to Mick Foley. Mick Foley's right. Sami Zayn hasn't proved that he deserves anything in the last 3 months.
He beat Kevin Owens.
That was stupid.
Okay.
All right, next match.
Daivari versus Rich Swann. Rich Swann won. On 205 Live, you get Neville versus Rich Swann. I don't know who won because I didn't watch that. But it did lead to Jack Gallagher coming out and challenging Daivari to a duel, and he even slapped him with a glove.
Oh, and then he said, "What are you, Alexander Hamilton?" And then that weird guy, what's his name?
Jack Gallagher.
Gallagher said, "No, I'm more like Aaron Burr."
And then slapped him with a glove.
Michael Bay directed that segment.
Aaron Burr. That leads us to the same old thing in the main event. Literally the same old thing. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. Do you guys want to guess who won the match?
Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
Did Grizz say Kevin Owens?
I didn't hear what you said. I said what, and you guys both said Roman Reigns.
We even counted it down and everything. God damn you!
I didn't count that. I'm not watching you.
Yeah, well, that's a problem. This is a video podcast for all intents and purposes.
It's not a video podcast. Until you learn how to record our videos, this is not a video podcast.
The next time 3 or 4 of us in a room together, we should do a Facebook Live podcast.
All right, I guess. Well, I got vacation time to burn. Also, can you guys just come down for WrestleMania and stop being girls about it?
Paul.
It's in fucking April, bro.
Paul.
Broke, homie, broke.
Paul.
You don't have to pay for hotel rooms here. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you and Steph going to come up and watch Fuller House with me or not?
She's just starting a new job. First quarter, she cannot take vacation time.
So she can't go to wherever we go in February? I'm broke, bro.
I'm broke. I'm the brokest person in the world. I can't go nowhere until I have my money, until I have my life figured out. I have to move.
Get your money right?
I have to get my money all right.
Also, Steph won a trip to New Orleans, so I'd like to make that happen.
Yeah,
well, I don't really want to go there. I really have no intention of going there.
I feel like our personal plan should not be on this podcast now.
All right. So back to wrestling. So Kevin Owens lost to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, clean.
Was it clean?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Are they going with this whole thing now where Kevin Owens shouldn't be champion? Are they going to roll with that? Are we supposed to believe that Kevin Owens is a very good wrestler, but just can't win a fucking match?
They're rolling with that he shouldn't be the champion.
At least that's a premise and a direction.
I mean, I guess I just don't like it.
Why? Because he's a very good wrestler and he's one of their best on-mic performers.
He's the best wrestler. He's one of the best wrestlers. He's not the best wrestler they have. He's one of the best wrestlers they have.
He's a strong wrestler.
Literally and figuratively. As a fat guy, I would like them to respect a fat guy. Tell him, Steph.
There's no more wine.
That's good.
Steph's gonna be on the show now?
I'm not cutting that out.
Steph's making the show name. There's no more wine is the name of the episode.
No more wine is the name of the episode. Bye, Steph.
All right, so we might as well just go into SmackDown now.
Wait, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Literally nothing. It's been unwatchable.
Oh, Braun Strowman beat people up.
Yeah, we talked about that.
He beats people up every week.
Oh, I got to stop not paying attention when you guys talk.
I am intrigued with the Last Man Standing match for next week. I'll watch that on Monday.
Who is it?
Sami Zayn versus Strowman, Last Man Standing.
I really hope they let Strowman. I want
falls.
Strowman getting pushed. I don't want Sami Zayn to win that match.
I have a prediction. Sami Zayn wins because Roman Reigns interferes and knocks Strowman out with a spear.
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to get him back for the week before. Or it'll be 2 weeks ago at that point, but...
And it makes Sami look strong because he's going to get the ever-loving shit beat out of him, but keeps getting up before the count of 10.
Because he's like Chumbawamba. Mm-hmm. He gets knocked down, but he gets up again.
Tub thumping.
You're never going to keep him down. That should be his theme music instead of that stupid Scott shit.
He's got to get rid of those tights and that hat.
If he comes out to Chumbawamba, I'm gonna mark out like crazy. I'm calling Sami Zayn after this too.
You have Sami Zayn's number?
I'll get it. Start calling people in Canada. They're all so nice and gullible. They'll give me it. Goddamn idiots.
Okay, so while CJ plays with his AirPod case,
I don't know how you're allowed to see CJ and I'm not.
I can see him. He's right here in my face.
I'm not. Well, I'll show you. I'm going to text you.
Hey, Gris, you know why you can't see me?
What I see.
You know why you can't see him? Because John Cena came back this week. Speaking of that, SmackDown opens with John Cena coming back and kind of acting a little bit like a heel.
Yeah, I
heard you were talking about this, but I didn't get to watch it.
I got very excited when that happened because one of you guys said in the group chat that, because I was on a delay.
Actually, Adam said it.
Oh. No, he didn't. Future Grizz. Adam doesn't exist, guys. We don't know where he is. You got to keep kayfabe.
Oh, you're right.
So one of you guys said in a group chat that the internet spoiled something. So I had to not go on Facebook or Instagram until I was on SmackDown. I thought it spoiled the Cena heel turn. Turns out what we get to in a little bit is what it spoiled. I don't want to spoil it now.
See, like I read about it, but I didn't watch his thing. What did he say that was so heely?
Basically, he just decided that he was going to fight whoever won the title match for the title because he can, because he's John Cena.
Yeah, and he said he's sick of this new era crap. It's the era of what did he call it? One of his catchphrases.
The My Time era?
It's the My Time era. Yeah.
It's the Mai Tai era? He wants to have a drink?
Yeah. Or he likes to cry.
I hope he knows that that's a bad thing. You can't drink too many Mai Tais. I learned that one day. There's way too much sugar in there. You're going to get diabetes. You're going to be super hungover. You're going to gain a little bit of weight. Don't drink too many Mai Tais, John Cena.
Good life advice. So, yeah. Then we have the first match of SmackDown. SmackDown's such a better paced show. It is the Tag Team Championship Four Corners match.
Before we go on. SmackDown's a better paced show because they only have 2 hours to kill. The third hour kills Raw.
Okay, well.
That's not Raw's fault. That's USA's fault.
They agreed to 3 hours. Adapt or die.
Isn't that like Seth Rollins' phrase or something?
You think it was Seth Rogen?
I don't think it was Seth Rogen.
You're thinking of Joe Rogan.
It might have been Joe Rogan. Do you think Joe Rogan can wrestle?
Speaking of Joe Rogan is going to call UFC pay-per-views and also NBC's news radio. Speaking of Joe Rogan, do you know who he's going to call UFC pay-per-views with, possibly? You're going to get...
That guy from the Dave Chappelle's character from that skit where they gave out Great New York Booth?
No, you're going to get Joe Rogan and Jim Rome calling matches.
Oh my God, UFC has a death warrant, huh?
Yeah, I hate Jim Rome.
Everyone hates
Jim Rome is the worst. I don't mind Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's fine.
I like Joe Rogan. It took me a while to open up to him because he took over the Man Show, and I was a little salty about that.
Obviously, fear is not a factor for you.
But then between the Dave Chappelle stuff and then him calling out Carlos Mencia for being a hack, he grew on me.
Isn't Jim?
Yeah, that's right, Carlos Mencia. You're nothing but a joke-stealing son of a bitch.
By the way, I do that.
Alive. Isn't the moral of the story in Jerry Maguire that Jim Rome's a piece of shit?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what that movie's all about.
That's exactly what that movie's about.
I prefer our shows to happen when CJ's a little bit buzzed because I feel like we have less lively of a show without it.
You want me to pound some beers?
Do a couple shots.
Yes.
We don't have time for you to pound beers.
You want me to stone cold a couple of beers?
I want you to stone cold a couple shots.
If you stone cold a couple beers, I'll record it. We'll post it online.
Well, if you stone cold a couple shots, it'll be even better.
It's gonna get sticky.
What are you doing? Shots of homo semen?
Yeah. Future Grizz.
No, I'm not cutting that out.
That wasn't funny. That's why I want you to cut it out.
So, do you guys think you can find me cheap flights to come up to New Jersey in February?
Yeah. So wrestling is what we're supposed to be talking about. We need Adam.
Wrestling. Yeah. Yeah, we need the Darth Vapor.
No, we don't. Fuck him. He's gone.
He gone.
That almost sounded like him.
Are Grizz and Adam becoming one?
I feel like we should have an entrance song so when Adam does come back, his cue hits. And we all react.
It's going to be the Darth Vader music with vape sounds in the background.
And also in the foreground, because he sucks in that thing like a fucking binky. You drinking Pedialyte, bro?
Are you hungover really good.
Already? You're not even drunk.
I drank a lot last night.
Of semen?
Yeah, I drank a lot of semen last night, Paul. I sucked so much dick, and I'm so good at it, so I just couldn't stop drinking semen.
Grizz, do not dare cut that out.
I'm not cutting any of this out. So You guys just deal with what you say from now on. There's no more editing.
There's no more editing.
Oh my god.
All right,
no more editing.
Chris, you have to get on your phone and look at the camera because CJ looks like an extra in Deadliest Catch or The Perfect Storm. I can't decide.
Look at your text message and you'll see that I only see you on my camera.
You might have to like switch.
Switch what?
I don't know. I'm a little pink guy.
Yeah, you're a little pink guy. Because even Skype knows you're fucking homo.
Alright, real men wear pink.
Listen, CJ, in 2 weeks, you and Darth Vapor, whether he appears here or not, are going one-on-one with me and Paulie Terrible for the Kayfabe Only Brother Tag Team Champions.
Alright, I'm all about that. We have to figure out how that's going to work, but I'm all about it.
I can get Gabe to set up questions for us, and we can have a trivia contest.
No, we're gonna lose in trivia.
You're gonna lose in everything because you're a fucking loser. You've been a loser your whole life.
We can do a mixture of wrestling and general knowledge trivia.
Grizz watches like 17 hours of wrestling a week.
Grizz randomly told me a lot about a Japanese wrestler today. I had no idea he knew who he was.
Are we done talking about SmackDown?
Wait. Can we bring up NATO? Let's talk about NATO. Can we? Because I've been wanting to talk about NATO all week.
Wait, all right. Let's run through SmackDown real quick.
All right. If you want to talk about American wrestling,
like a nerd.
CJ sent that picture of the click. Holy shit! Half of Duncan is gonna be a wreck.
That's racist.
Yeah.
Duncan's got a girlfriend.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Kind of.
Oh,
from what I hear, it's not so kind of.
I don't think it's... he doesn't have Facebook. All right, so it can't be Facebook official.
I think it's O-Face official.
That's a bad joke. Okay, so...
Were you bringing up that bar from Bar Rescue again?
Bar.
We only have so many references, and we've gotten through them all in 10 episodes.
The O-Face.
By the way, I thought last week was unlistenable.
Last week, you fucking alcoholic.
Was I drunk last week?
Yes.
I thought last week was unlistenable. This week is very much unlistenable.
Oh, yeah,
also,
can we talk about
2:30 in the morning?
The crepe guy was a big hit on the show. You got to get a picture of him.
The crepe guy? Yeah, Roxanne's probably friends with him.
Okay. So tag team elimination, tag team elimination match. It was American Alpha, Wyatt Family, Heath Slater and Rhino, and the Usos. TJ, did you watch SmackDown?
Yeah.
Do you know what happens?
Yes.
You do know what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so order of elimination. Heath Slater and Rhino, the Usos, and then the Wyatt Family are eliminated. American Alpha is now your tag team champions.
Did you know, like, when you figured something was up when Luke Harper was the man in instead of Bray?
Well, they did say they were going to do the Freebird rule.
Right, but I didn't think they would give up the title. It's their first or second. Is their second title defense?
Yeah.
Considering they were technically the biggest stars to hold the title since Rated RKO, you would think they'd hold on to it for a little while.
Their second title defense, and also earlier in the week, Ric Flair said that he thinks they're the best tag team around right now.
I don't think they lasted the tag team much
which
longer.
Sports Illustrated completely disagreed with because they named the Young Bucks as the best wrestling tag team of 2016.
And the Young Bucks are entertaining, but...
What?
I think Ric Flair has to stay in company.
No, I wanted to know what Paul said.
I disagree with Sports Illustrated. The Young Bucks are entertaining.
The Young Bucks are fantastic wrestlers.
The best tag team in wrestling right now is the Hardys. They're carrying an entire company to actually, like, they're bringing them back to, like, where people care about the show.
I don't know. I'm very high on the Young Bucks right now.
Young Bucks aren't anything until they
I actually read an article today that when Jack Swagger... Oh, no, I'm sorry, I have the wrestling on in the background.
You're
came out.
You're reading an article about Jack Swagger?
No,
You've officially gone too far into wrestling.
No.
You can't get any further.
I meant to say AJ Styles, but then Jack Swagger came on the screen, and I said Jack Swagger. When AJ Styles came over last year,
shows up and slaps you.
When AJ Styles and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson came over last year, apparently Styles went to the Young Bucks this year. Mm-hmm. Styles went to the Young Bucks originally and said, "Would you want to jump with me?" And they had literally just signed a contract like a month earlier, or else they probably would have at the time, but because the timing was wrong. And then after they had such a good year with New Japan and Ring of Honor, they decided to stay with them for another 2 years.
They're eventually going to come.
In 2 years when their contract's up. But I thought it was
a lot to the show sober.
I'll get there. You're talking about promotions I don't follow as closely.
No, it was you laughing when I said they were.
All right,
I don't care about you not having input.
Anyways, so the new tag team champions, American Alpha, Jason Jordan wins in his hometown of Chicago.
Which different for what the WWE usually does with hometown, which is a theme for later on in the show.
And actually, his parents were sitting in the front row.
Oh, good for him.
I don't know if you caught that. I'm assuming it was a black and a white. It was a black guy and a white lady with American Alpha shirts on. I just assumed that was his parents.
Oh,
because he's African, like our good friend Duncan.
Jason Jordan's African?
He seems African.
No wonder I have liked him.
Which half?
The black half. I am a self-hating. I'm a self-hating white.
Absolutely.
I'm self-hating.
Are you surprised that they're giving him belts this early?
I actually thought it was going to happen at the tag team title tournament. I like that they push Heath Slater a lot because the dude's been solid for years.
Yeah.
And I always liked Rhino. I think they kind of got jobbed out with the Wyatts, but at least they lost to somebody strong. I just don't know where they go. I don't know where the tag division goes from here. I mean, I guess you get American Alpha and the Usos.
I mean, that's a huge year for American Alpha, though, because they won the NXT championships in the beginning of 2016, and then they closed the year out with the SmackDown championships.
I just don't think there's a whole lot of competition for them because I think they're better wrestlers.
They're so good.
I also think underutilized are the Vaudevillains. I remember watching those guys in NXT. Aiden English especially, and I think they're really, really talented. And they're kind of getting
I think fighting
out.
with Jericho got him.
Yeah, apparently Simon Gotch has a mouth on him.
Yeah, apparently
he might get released.
Yeah, that's fine. Aiden English had a kind of great gimmick by himself where people would throw roses at him and he would sing opera music on the way to the ring so he wouldn't have real entrance music.
I like that.
Did
he actually sing?
Yeah, he would go back and sing, and it actually... It turned him into a little bit of a. It turned him into too much of a face. The heel gimmick with the fans reacted to. So I think that's why they kind of put it to the side. But it was it was great, and I think Aiden English is actually really talented. But either way, I just don't think there's any competition for the American Alpha that would make it interesting. I don't think there's any guys that are gonna, unless the revival shows up. I don't think there's any guys that are really.
Well, I mean, a new year is coming up, and they're gonna at least jump one. You're gonna jump some people up from NXT.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have the Rumble surprise guys, and some of those might stay on.
I feel like Samoa Joe's coming out of the Rumble.
I heard Samoa Joe is never coming ever.
I could see it happening both ways. I think Joe would be kind of cool to be the legacy guy down at NXT, but I also think it's time if they're gonna make their move.
I'll bring that up.
There's another rumor later in the week that I think kind of makes sense for Joe to be up on the main roster and them to have a big pay-per-view match, but we'll get there.
With AJ Styles?
No, with another person that is announcing that he's coming back to the main roster. Also, side note, Chris Hero. Do you guys know who Chris Hero is?
No.
He was in WWE Developmental as Cassius Ohno. He's good friends with CM Punk. He used to be this real tall, skinny guy, and he came to WWE and he started gaining weight. Apparently, he has a thyroid issue, but he's this huge dude. And he flies around the ring, and he's coming back to WWE too in NXT. So they just keep adding awesome indie guys. Back to SmackDown. Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch.
I'm very interested in what's going on here.
If you remember last week, Becky Lynch dressed as La Luchadora and beat Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
This week, while Becky and Alexa were fighting, La Luchadora came out and distracted Becky, and Alexa was able to retain the title.
Before we go any further, Alexa could apparently pop her arm out of her socket.
She's double jointed.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That was a great heel way to win that match. For a second there, I kind of thought she was actually hurt.
I want to believe that La Luchadora is actually Becky Lynch's evil twin.
I think La Luchadora is going to be Mickie James.
I'm pretty sure Grizz is correct here.
I think it's going to be Mickie James. Mickie James and Becky Lynch are going to have a feud.
And what's the champion going to do?
She's going to feud with somebody else. Probably
Bella.
Nikki Bella. They're probably going to put the title back on Nikki Bella. Because if the fucking Bellas or the Cenas don't have titles, Vince McMahon's not happy.
All right, and I guess there's only 3 matches on the show this week.
Yep.
The final match was AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin.
And shocking to all, Ziggler and Styles have wrestled well together.
Wait, did we skip the Miz match?
There was no Miz match.
I don't have a Miz match.
Oh, it was just back.
Miz refused to be interviewed by anyone else besides Renee Young because Miz Ambrose is the feud, which it really makes the WWE the Intercontinental title seem important, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Also, Miz really deserves the heavyweight belt.
The Miz? If you told me that a year ago, I would have told you you're fucking retarded. This past year, The Miz has completely changed my whole outlook on The Miz.
Yeah, Miz is...
He's such a great heel. He might be the best. If it wasn't for AJ Styles, I would say he's the best thing on SmackDown right now.
He's the most successful real-world cast member of all time.
Ahead of the
We've had that conversation.
I would have to go with Tech Holmes.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said last time we had this conversation.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page tonight, Chris. So that's AJ Styles beat them because
he's AJ Styles.
Because Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler are fucking chumps.
Are they feuding with each other? Is that gonna happen?
Probably. They've already feuded with each other.
Corbin and Ziggler, we're gonna get that feud again?
Probably. Also, John Cena came out, and so at the Royal Rumble, you have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens with Jericho in a cage above the ring. You have John Cena versus AJ Styles for the title. So those guys aren't in the Royal Rumble. You maybe have a women's title match, and there's not a whole lot of room for matches on the Royal Rumble card.
There should be. Do you think both women will defend?
I don't think so, actually. I don't think Alexa Bliss gets a match on the show, because Elimination Chamber before the Rumble, that's going to be a SmackDown pay-per-view, so I think they wait until then. But I think there's going to be a women's Royal Rumble they're going to announce.
I heard rumors of a women's Royal Rumble. I heard that I haven't seen proof of it on any of the WWE shows. I don't know if it was just the internet being liars or hopefuls.
I have a choice to make that weekend. I can either watch the Royal Rumble live, or I can go to the Pro Bowl here in Orlando.
Royal Rumble.
You're going to watch the Royal Rumble. The Pro Bowl is worthless.
I mean, it'd be cool to go to it, no?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess my decision's been made.
I mean, what are you going to do? Watch a flag football game?
I mean, hopefully there's no Cowboys in it, so I guess if the Cowboys don't make the Super Bowl, it'd be okay to go and watch them play.
Giants, Pats 3.
That's what all you fucking shitty New Yorkers want.
I'm not a Giants fan. I just want to see Giants, Pats 3.
By the way, if I knew that my official job was going to be recapping these shows because the Vapor wasn't going to appear, I'd be better at it than this, so I apologize.
No, it's all right. Wait, are we done with SmackDown? Can we talk about Naito?
Yeah, sure.
This guy, he makes white eyes.
Explain white eyes, Chris.
He has, when white people hold their eyes slanty like Chinese people or like Asian people in general?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has Asian eyes, and when he was working in Mexico, because he worked in Mexico for a while, when he was working in Mexico, the crowd would make Asian eyes at him. And his response to that was to open his eyes wide, like to make them look like white people eyes. Or, well, I guess black people, not Asian eyes. And so then he carries that over, and he does it still in Japan, and I very much enjoy it. And his stable in Japan is Los Inter. I don't know how to say that word, but it's a Spanish name. And he's a fantastic wrestler. So if you're looking to watch new wrestling, go watch New Japan Wrestling.
Does he seem like the next Nakamura?
He's a heel. Nakamura's the face right now, ain't he?
But I meant more from the... I think you really need to... Since you've started getting more into wrestling, I think you need to go back and watch some old Nakamura matches.
Nakamura Japan matches or Nakamura NXT matches?
No, New Japan. There's not a whole lot of...
Yeah, I could probably do that if I go on demand. I believe Axis has some fairly old New Japan on there on demand.
The only Nakamura match from NXT that you probably haven't seen, I don't think you watched any Nakamura, right?
No, when I started, it was after Nakamura and AJ Styles left. I mean, I'm probably still only in like April or May.
No. I was talking about NXT.
Japan. Oh, and NXT, I watched Nakamura, Samoa Joe at Toronto, NXT Toronto.
Nakamura Zayn is one of the best matches I've ever seen.
I love Nakamura's entrance music.
Yeah.
I was actually just listening to it earlier today.
It's like while you're grocery shopping?
No, while I was smoking a cigarette.
I've listened to it driving in a car.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
So I texted you guys this on, when was it? Friday night? Sunday night? Christmas night? Friday night. And New Japan Pro Wrestling came on at the bar I was at, and the first conversation I had with this adorable bartender that have thought adorable for 3 weeks was me geeking out over Nakamura, AJ Styles, New Japan Pro Wrestling match.
Did she appreciate it?
I was like, this is so geeky. I'm so sorry you're listening to me talk about this. And she was like, it's totally cool. This is like something we watch here for a reason. It's fine. Stop
What bar?
No, I'm not gonna tell you what bar.
Promote the bar.
Well, if you're listening.
She's Louise.
No,
she's Louise.
It's Tom and Jerry's.
Is it what bar?
She's Louise in not Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been there, Chris?
She's Louise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to go to a bar where there's just constant independent wrestling on television.
Oh, there was constant. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
Yeah, but I would love to go to a bar with
December 23rd.
Like, I want independent wrestling and Australian rules football.
When we open up Kayfabe Only Brother New York.
Is that going to be where the Hard Rock Cafe is? Because that's a big space.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have like vintage Kayfabe Only like artifacts?
Yeah, we'll have Adam's vape.
Adam's vape, our microphones that are all broken and almost none of us use anymore.
Steph's empty bottle of wine.
Steph's bottle of wine.
Oh, I'll bring my Velma pop doll.
Do you know who was a cool chick who never got much play?
Velma.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
I'll bring my with her Hillary Clinton sticker.
Do you think we can get the crepe guy to make crepes in the restaurant?
Those crepes are pretty expensive, man.
We could probably get the creep guy to do it.
One of our friends?
Yeah, the creep guy. The creep guy.
The creep guy.
There's a rape guy, a creep guy, there's a vape guy.
That stable is the ungovernable in Spanish. That's what it is.
That's what that means?
Yeah.
That makes it even cooler.
Hey guys, for the last Paul speaking entirely too much segment of the show, would you like to know what happened this day in wrestling?
Yeah, hold on. Monkeys in the trailer. Cue the music.
Paulie Terrible presents On This Day in Wrestling History.
So actually, 18 years ago today, do you know what happened?
18 years ago today would be 1998.
2 things happened. Monday Night Nitro promoted that Kevin Nash was going to have a rematch with Bill Goldberg for the title. That never happened. Kevin Nash fought Hulk Hogan, and they had the finger poke of doom.
Ooh, yeah.
But before that, Eric Bischoff decided to read the results from Monday Night Raw. Who farted?
Goldberg. No, it was me.
I'm sorry, Paul. Continue.
No, that's fine. You can fart through my segment.
No, Paul, please.
No, that's fine. Right before that happened, Raw had been taped, and Eric Bischoff decided to read the results, or had Tony Schiavone read the results, where Mankind won the title in Long Island, New York, and 600,000 people switched from Nitro to Monday Night Raw, and I don't think they ever lost the lead after that.
Yeah, they got to be idiots to tell everybody that Mankind won the title.
Also, that was
People
the biggest pop I've ever seen in wrestling. When Stone Cold Steve Austin came out during that match, hit The Rock in the head with a steel chair, and Mankind pins The Rock for the title. That's the loudest I've ever seen a crowd on television.
Am I wrong?
If you can cut that reaction into the show, Grizz, it would make me very happy.
I'll see what I can do. Am I wrong, or does DX carry Mankind out, or am I thinking of a different day?
No, they do. They
all right.
Because basically the corporation interferes in the match,
and DX comes out, right?
DX comes out and interferes in the match, and they're all brawling, and then Stone Cold needs a kick because he had been hit by a car.
You know how happy me and Cheese
People
were?
are hit by cars all
because
the time.
I was always a big DX fan, and Cheese was always a big Mankind fan, and we were so happy that they were friends, and that didn't really last too long.
No, it didn't. But the Rock Mankind
actually
was a lot like the Sasha Banks.
I believe one of the magazines I got signed by The Rock is the one with Mankind being held up by DX on the cover. I'd have to go look. What?
You met The Rock?
Yeah, I met him in Lodi, New Jersey when I was a kid. My uncle is a cop in Lodi. So everybody was waiting around the corner in line, and we just walked right in.
When I was a kid,
That's what happened, kids. That's what happens when you know the right people. That's a future life advice. Make sure you know the right people. Nope,
I would tell you
not
guys
getting cut out.
I met Hogan and Macho Man.
Tell me about it.
They were down at the yacht club in Weehawken, and I had very old pictures of them that they signed from an old magazine. And Hogan signed his, and Macho Man took his, and it was Macho Man. It was when he was the Macho King. Mm-hmm. And he looks at it, and he goes to Hogan, and then I'm going to do a bad Macho Man impression because that was one disturbed brother.
That's not a true story, is it?
I swear to God.
Why is that the first time I'm hearing that story?
I've definitely told you that story. He goes, that's a
never once.
Brother.
Never once.
Gives it back to me.
Never once. I've told you every story about every professional wrestler I've met, even when I met Tyrus. Tyrus, shout out, brother. He checked in at my hotel.
Yeah, you liked us on Instagram twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. Legit Tyrus official.
He liked our logo, and then he liked when I posted about him liking our logo.
To be fair, Tyrus, the Funkasaurus never got a fair shake.
Nope.
That was a solid gimmick.
My brother loved it.
Isn't that how we started the Velma thing? Yeah, it
maybe.
is.
Do you know who was a Funkasaurus who never got much play? Tyrus. From the WWE.
Brutus Clay.
Brutus Clay.
We're out of material. This is all the time we have for today.
Oh my God, yeah. Let's go out. Go out like Stanza.
We're not doing our classic
Stanza.
If somebody would like to take the lead on the classic match, I've talked entirely too much. Uninteresting.
I took the lead last week.
Our classic match of the week
was chosen by CJ.
Was chosen by CJ.
Oh, guys,
you want to take the lead on this?
No, I took the lead last week. I chose this as a punishment for making me take the lead last week.
All right, so I'll take the lead up until the pay-per-view, and then one of you guys have to take over because I haven't watched from there.
I can discuss the match.
You should watch that pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's an all-time great pay-per-view. I'll talk about the pay-per-view.
I'm in the process of doing that.
Before we get to the pay-per-view, can I ask you guys a wrestling question?
Go ahead.
Wrestling life question.
This is a wrestling podcast.
If you had to choose an entrance...
The premier audio wrestling radio show.
It is the premier audio wrestling podcast.
The premier wrestling audio show.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
The premier show for wrestling casting pods.
Yes.
And Freaks and Geeks.
And
Bots and
yeah. Yep.
If you had to choose entrance music for yourself, like your character is yourself.
You know that answer.
What are you coming out to? So CJ's coming out the ring to cut a promo. What music hits?
Not my established gimmick where I hit on 16 to 18-year-old women.
You mean leukemia?
No. Leukemia was a different one. This was I only have a name for this guy, but he just flirted with barely legal women.
You can do that as part of your character.
Oh no, I'm not wrestling under my name with that gimmick.
What music hits before you come out to the ring?
That gimmick was Danzig's Mother.
Mother by name. I think that's okay. That's solid.
But that might not be what I came out to.
Grizz?
Oh, my entrance music is Love Gun by Kiss.
If I was wrestling as CJ, I would come out to something off of Neil Young's On the Beach. Something completely inappropriate for a wrestling beach.
Wait, are you gonna come out the Prairie Wind?
Can you come out the Southern Man?
Come out to Harvest Moon. That's not on the beach.
You'll come out to Harvest Moon. That's a fantastic song.
You should coming out to Harvest Moon. I demand that your entrance be as long as that song takes.
And you got to pick somebody in the crowd, and you got to try to get them to dance with you.
Yeah, just like Bret Hart did by giving sunglasses to the little retard.
Well, my gimmick includes me during Love Gun trying to get a fan to flash me for a T-shirt.
Are you gonna come out with a T-shirt gun? Are you gonna come out with a T-shirt gun? Is your Love Gun the T-shirt gun?
No, I was gonna come out with my championship title because I'm championship caliber material.
Yeah, but when
I get started out in the Indies.
But when Love Gun hits, when the words Love Gun hits, if you bust out a T-shirt gun, you're gonna get the biggest reaction.
Oh, see, I was gonna use my title and pretend I was jerking myself off on the crowd.
We've hit gold, guys.
Wait, I have my whole gimmick set up because I fully intend on getting financially stable and in physical condition and having a doctor approve me to wrestle, and then I'm going to join that wrestling school, and I'm going to be the world champion.
Of the wrestling school?
Of the world.
Can I be your manager?
Yeah, Paulie Terrible.
Can I be your pallbearer?
You are listed in my handwritten will to be a pallbearer at my funeral.
Can you have a will?
It's a piece of paper that I wrote down my last will.
Man, I'm gonna need so
my
many
last will.
It's your last will and testament.
You and the rest of the clique are listed in there to dress up like Paul Bearer and carry me out of the funeral home.
Oh yes! Oh yes! Goodbye.
Can Paul be your manager? The Paul Bearer is bad news. That's not good.
Yeah, but Paul, you 100% could be my manager, but you got to move back to New Jersey for that because I'm.
If you get an independent match of any kind, I'm moving back to New Jersey.
Oh my God, you're gonna be back to New Jersey within the next year. 2017 is gonna be the best.
I could do a Springsteen song and just adopt kind of what Zack Ryder does, but all New Jersey stereotypes.
But I think technically, if you want to be my manager, you have to pay to go to the school.
No, we're going to start our own thing. Instead of doing a spec show with current WWE roster guys, we should do one with wrestlers we made up.
I'm joining an independent circuit, and I'm going to tour the world.
You're going to be the oldest guy there. No, you're not going to be the oldest guy there. You're going to be the oldest, rookie there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm super old.
Yeah, you're old.
That's going to be my gimmick. I'm going to be the old guy that doesn't give a fuck anymore because he's about to die.
Old man Grizzer?
It was supposed to be old man. Now it's black man? That's two things.
Who said black man?
Oh, it's from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
They had to sleep in. I'll talk about it on our Always Sunny Brother podcast. It's coming this January.
Paul, what would your theme music be?
Maybe.
I Am the Bull God by Kid Rock.
It's a good one. Are you going to be half man, half bull? Are you going to be
like Mantar?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think I'll just dress a lot like Kid Rock and have a midget come out with Josie.
Wait, what was your song going to be?
I Am the Bull God by Kid Rock.
All right.
You know it, right?
No.
I am the Bull God.
You have to change your name to Kid Rock and get that approved, though.
Why don't you just come out to Ball with the Ball?
That's also a good one. And you can yell your name.
Bull God's a better song.
All right.
But Ball with the Ball is a better intro.
It takes too long.
I come out to
bang,
love
diddy, said the boogie, said up, jump the boogie.
Oh, and also my gimmick is to get in the ring and make fun of whatever town or city we're in.
That's everyone's gimmick.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go further than I should.
There's no. One of the finest times I've ever seen anyone make fun of a crowd was The Rock in Sacramento, where I don't know if you've seen it, when he was Hollywood Rock, and he just starts he had them so worked up, and then he decided to do the Rock concert, and that's when Stone Cold came in with a truck of some sort, like Stone Cold does. Stone Cold's gimmick was really just like a truck driver.
he was just a redneck.
He could drive any kind of automobile.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the Han Solo of professional wrestling.
Did you guys know that Medusa is a real monster truck driver?
I thought you were going to say Medusa is a real Greek mythology person. Like, she could turn people...
No.
Alondra Blaze.
Alondra Blaze.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did know that.
She got taught how to drive monster trucks by Gravedigger. And she does that really
a couple times when I was a kid.
Go ahead, CJ. Say it. I see you. He's going to say it. He's got something to say. You got something to say?
I do not.
Say it.
I do not.
We'll cut it out of the show.
I'll cut it out of the show.
Darth Vapor could say it on his return.
What?
Nope. I'm the babyface of the show.
Really? You look like the fucking bearded face of the show.
Ooh, good one. All right.
Yes. By the way, I told Gabe to get ready because we might call him up for a question today, and he told me his question was going to be, I often have trouble separating your voices and New Jersey accents. Can you not tell who is talking before you guys speak and say your names? So I think he wanted us to all say our names before we speak every time.
Gabe, I'm the one that makes you laugh.
Before we speak every time?
Yeah.
Listen here, bot or weirdo or whoever you are, freak and geek.
He's a freak.
I'm not going to change my accent.
Gabe is a bot, weirdo, freak, and a geek.
He
follows us on all platforms.
He follows on all the platforms and is an avid Everybody Loves Raymond fan.
There goes the audio again.
Hey, I'm an avid Everybody Loves Raymond. This is a good show.
Time out.
That's what our New Jersey brother Paul Rudd said in 40
Time out. I'm dialing back in.
You're on the air.
Holler if you can hear me.
Holla.
Hey!
We're good.
Holla.
All right, so the classic match of the week. Grizz, hit the music.
Kayfabe Classics.
Turning back the clock to Kayfabe Classics.
Kayfabe Classics.
I hit it.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to say something. You just gotta say hit the music and then count to yourself 1, 2, 3, pause, go.
So CJ, Bud, Booby, you chose this week's match, and I kind of believe the surrounding accoutrement.
The summer of. That summer. Summer 2010.
The Summer of Punk, asshole.
Summer of Punk. 2011.
Apparently there was a Summer of Punk.
Yeah, he's the one that makes you giggle. He's a fucking idiot.
He's fucking retarded.
There was apparently a Summer of Punk at New Japan, too.
Probably. There was also the NWO before the NWO was a thing. Eric Bischoff stole that. So New Japan is just ahead of us. The Japanese beat us in technology and in professional wrestling. We just need to accept that fact. Also sneak attacks. So that's why they call it Japan people.
I would say the atomic bombs are pretty sneaky.
Yeah, but that was a retaliation. That wasn't.
That was like going diagonal and connect 4.
That was a baller ass move though.
Yeah,
you wanna fuck with us? Okay, I'm reloaded.
It was the Michael Bolton Scarface move.
I like that.
By the way, after we dropped the bomb
first.
After we dropped the bomb, Japan became a lonely island.
Nice. I like the way you worked yourself
audio shoot.
All right, so we CJ chose the Summer of Punk. By the way, Grizz, before we finish today, I'm going to ask you to choose a match or a thing that we can talk about next week. So get ready for that.
Okay,
CJ,
I'll get right on that.
CJ, why did you? I mean, if you don't want to, I'll choose.
No, I do want to.
Why did I choose it? I chose it because I was not watching wrestling at the time, and I was hearing about the pipe bomb. Checked it out, brought me back.
That's what got you back into wrestling?
Yep, the pipe bomb got me back into wrestling.
This was
being told is one of the greatest shoots of all time.
As I just watched it earlier today, because I don't know if I ever watched it in full or at all.
Mm-hmm.
I fully understand why that got you back into wrestling.
You were not watching it.
But it was phenomenal. No, I was probably watching right before that. I was on and off for a while. The network is what got me back in full time because it just made it so much easier. I was watching all the pay-per-views because before that I wasn't paying for pay-per-view every month.
Yeah,
the network really got me back into wrestling.
So the CM Punk thing, I heard about it because I hadn't been watching wrestling for a long time. It got me back into it. And then at the end of it, when we reached the conclusion of where this went, I watched one more pay-per-view, and then I didn't watch again until I went to WrestleMania.
With us?
No, in 2012. Okay. I went in 2012, 13.
Oh, that's right. You went to...
So I went to 20, 28, 29, and I'm going to this one. So, but yeah, no, I didn't... I hadn't watched for a long time. I hadn't watched since... Like, I didn't even watch back when the first Elimination Chamber was and all that, when Shawn Michaels made a comeback. I hadn't watched for years. But this brought me back in.
I mean, Punk was doing good work at WWE for a long time before that, but never really getting his due. I don't recall what led to the title, what led to him being number one contender.
So what happened was, actually the pay-per-view before was Capital Punishment, which was in D.C., and they had a Barack Obama guy running around. It was terrible. And the main event for that show was John Cena versus R-Truth. That was the main event.
Yeah.
And that night, I think CM Punk, it was either that or Monday Night Raw. CM Punk fought Rey Mysterio at Capital Punishment. I don't know if that was number one contender or he won the number one contendership on Raw. But either way, it happened right around then. So, like, that's how stale the product was. R-Truth, as great as entertaining as a guy as he can be, and, you know, he's really meant for the mid-card. He's not a main eventer. He did some good stuff and all, but no, it's not main event worthy. So basically Punk's contract was going to be up. He didn't feel like he was getting what he deserved. He felt like he should have been the guy for the main event the year before when it was Miz versus Cena, because he felt like when he was with, do you guys know anything about when he was with the Nexus?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, very, very little bit.
He was like the WWE's big bad for a while when he took over the Nexus. It actually, the Royal Rumble that year, the first half of the Royal Rumble, it was really good.
It was them in the ring, right?
It was them in the ring, taking up every guy until Cena came in. Yeah, but I mean, he was probably their biggest, most over heel besides the Miz. So Punk gets his opportunity. His basically his time is up with the company. He's not resigning. The plan was never for him to win, and they give him the microphone and just say, "Yeah, go ahead," because wrestling's cool like that sometimes. They're like, "Yeah, go ahead, say what you want."
Not so much anymore, but yeah.
So Creative was unaware of that.
They had he basically. I think he had bullet points, and they weren't. They didn't know exactly what he was going to say, but they kind of had the idea. This company will die when Vince McMahon is dead thing. I think he cleared before he went out there. I have to listen back.
He said this company will be better off when Vince McMahon does, except for
I think
his sister and Goofy
and the
doofus son-in-law.
He called
And I think I don't know if that was cleared. I listened to the Colt Cabana podcast a while back, but I don't even think that's online anymore. But I think some of it was cleared, and some of it was kind of it was a work shoot. So it's just what happens in wrestling. And it just became the biggest deal in wrestling in a while because it wasn't scripted.
Well, you had your best in-ring performer, doing your best mic work, fighting your biggest name, and completely getting over.
It's what should have been the main event the year before WrestleMania. Punk is absolutely right. As great as Miz is now, he wasn't that back then. See, Grizz, this was the first time you watched the promo, right?
I believe so.
What'd you think about the promo, Grizz?
It was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that he hit, like, he made fun of The Rock, and that kind of foreshadowed him eventually losing the title to The Rock.
You're giving the creative way too much credit.
I understand that had nothing to do with it, but in hindsight, it all worked out. It was great. I like that they cut his mic off, and it went off. The Raw went off the air with him screaming at the camera. I like that the next Raw he was suspended, and John Cena tried to stick up for him, and then the following Raw he had a live contract signing with Vince McMahon.
I really enjoy the Vince stuff on the show because I didn't really watch. Like I said, I didn't watch wrestling. Around the time Trump came back, I kind of had an eye on it, like just to see what was going on. I know Vince got his head shaved, but he looked so different and like so much older, and it was just weird seeing Vince. It was weird seeing Vince give somebody the opportunity to treat him like a piece of garbage in the ring. Maybe that happened the time while I wasn't watching, but it wasn't something I was used to besides Stone Cold Steve Austin. Vince got over on everybody else besides Punk and Austin, really.
Well, yeah, and Punk was wearing that Stone Cold shirt for a reason.
Yeah, he was.
Eventually they had a match, by the way.
Punk and Austin?
Punk and Austin?
No, Punk and Vince.
Oh, yeah. Austin is Punk's dream match.
Yeah, it'll never happen. Austin
said, I read an article not too long ago that Austin's he's done with wrestling. He's never going to come back. He did what he had to do.
I like the way Austin went out. I really enjoy it. So anyway, it builds up to this match where CM Punk, basically his contract's up at midnight, and they're going to be at his hometown, which actually worked out perfectly. So a little bit of good luck on the WWE side before Chicago was unbearable. And basically, if Cena loses, he's fired, and if Punk wins, he gets to leave with the belt.
Which is Vince McMahon's biggest pet peeve, going back all the way to the Montreal Screwjob.
Before the
Montreal, but
Think about Alundra Blaze going to WCW and throwing the women's championship in the garbage.
If you think about it, it actually happened before that. Before when Ric Flair came to the WWE, he showed up with a big gold belt, and eventually they got sued by that. By the way, in the middle of this, Grizz, I'm stopping for a second. Do you mind if I choose the next match? Because I have one in my mind.
Is it going to be that big gold belt appearance with Ric Flair involved?
It has something to do with Ric Flair. It's also very long, but it has something to do with this month.
What?
January? It'll be January.
What match?
The 1992 Royal Rumble.
It's on the network?
Yep.
Yeah, they're all on the network.
I don't know, man.
I'm begging everyone. What? I'm begging everyone to watch this match and listen to Bobby Heenan and watch how great Ric Flair is. It might be the greatest Royal Rumble of all time.
All right, I'm down for that.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Because the Royal Rumble's coming up.
That's the only reason why I would choose a Royal Rumble. I wouldn't choose a Royal Rumble anyway.
Can you go into more detail with Ric Flair coming into W? Do you know when this what happened with the big gold belt? And
so when Ric Flair showed up in the company, basically I think Jim Herd was in charge of WCW, and he decided that he did not need Ric Flair, and Ric Flair was the champion. He's like, "Oh, you don't need me? All right, well, my contract's up, so I'm leaving." So he left with the company. But the way it used to work with wrestlers in the old days, because the title went between companies, they would have to put a deposit down on the belt. And Rick was like, "You could just keep my deposit. I don't give a fuck. You can't have the belt back." So he walked out with the belt and showed up on WWE television. The problem was, since he showed up on television with it, they decided to sue the WWE. So he came in as the real world champion. And he had to drop that gimmick pretty quickly because he got sued.
I need to look this up and find out exactly what Raw or whatever I can watch to see this, because
it was pre-Raw. It was pre-Raw era, because we're talking. I mean, he won the WWE title in 1992. So,
but Thursday Night Raw wasn't a thing.
No, Raw wasn't a thing until mid-90s.
Because they had Raw. Thursday Raw Thursday or something like that.
I mean, you're talking about like Saturday night's main event, that kind of thing.
All right,
I don't think
I gotta look up for what show I could see him showing up with the big gold title.
Unless it was Superstars, I don't think they actually had a weekly show.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm trying to think when Raw started.
But yeah, Flair showed up with the big gold belt on WWE television, and then later on, Alundra Blaze showed up on, obviously a story wrestling fans know. Alundra Blaze showed up on Nitro with the title, and she dropped the women's title in the garbage, which I don't know if you guys have watched the Legends with JBL. Have you guys ever watched any of those Legends with JBL?
Yeah.
We gotta stop back in.
Hello?
Yeah, we're good.
Hello.
You were talking about the Alundra Blaze thing.
Yeah, so, I mean, Alundra Blaze showed up, dropped the title in the garbage, and I think that really affected Vince. Have you guys ever watched any Legends with JBL thing on the network?
I have not.
Yeah.
They're actually really, really good. He did one with Alundra Blaze. There's a lot of stuff in there I didn't know. I mean, there's some guys where you don't have to watch it because you know everything about them, but Alundra Blaze, that's an interesting story. Anyway.
So WWE has a long legacy of leaving with the belt.
Yeah.
Is what this is coming from.
Yeah, and then obviously the screw job happened, and that happened because he didn't want Brett to show up on Nitro with the belt. So wrestling fans finally were in that beautiful Montreal. Wrestling fans were in that beautiful Montreal screw job phase of literally we do not know what is going to happen.
And like even going back to the promo the week following, you let know, but there was things online like not sure how much of this is real.
Yeah, because since they're a publicly traded company, and they gave away a little bit less then, but there's no secrets anymore with WWE when they have anybody coming in. There's no secrets. There's no surprises. Grizz, what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Stop eating candy.
Grizz, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
He's eating candy.
You fall asleep?
No, I'm waiting for one of you to keep talking.
All right.
Well, stop fucking rustling around with fucking papers or whatever the fuck you're doing.
That's CJ, it's not me.
It's every time you speak.
What are you doing?
Are you in the grass? What are you doing?
Sorry. I have my headphones on and my beard was on the microphone.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it sounds like you're in a goddamn grassy knoll.
I have a very long beard right now.
I forgot where I was.
And it's not very long. It's just kind of
publicly traded company. WWE is not sponsored.
Oh yeah, publicly traded company. So there's no secrets anymore. So this one, it was known that his contract was up at midnight, so they didn't know where it was going. So the match itself, you guys all watched it, correct?
I watched it. a year ago or so, but I haven't watched it. I didn't watch it this weekend. I haven't had the time to. But I skimmed through it. Grizzly?
Oh, I watched it in the past. I haven't watched it.
So the match is in Chicago, obviously, and Punk is about to come out, and I think it's probably this entire match has the second. We talked about Mankind and his title win 18 years ago. This is probably the second loudest I've ever seen a group of fans at a WWE
for 45 minutes consecutively.
Yeah, the match is legitimately 45. The match is legitimately 45 minutes. And WWE matches, unless they state like it's an Iron Man match, they don't go this long. So it just kind of had like an epic feel from the beginning.
It's the closest to a Rocky movie I've ever seen a real life audience. It was just as loud as possible. Back then, you were getting very mixed crowds with Cena. It was pretty close to 50-50, where you would hear adult men and children and women saying Cena, and Cena sucked from the adult men. In Chicago, a 100% Punk crowd.
I think this is the first match. Well, besides the RVD ECW match, which is a whole different scenario, I think this is the first match where Cena fully played the heel. He even kind of had a little bit of a heel entrance where he didn't do his normal, like, this is so much fun kind of gimmick. He came out very serious, didn't do this loop, came right down to the ring. I think this is a match that kind of changed a lot. I think this match and this show, just like the Montreal Screwjob, kind of shaped the future of the WWE.
Where, like, it's the first time we get Cena playing the babyface as a heel type of thing?
Cena playing I think it really changed the heel-face dynamics, where you could be a babyface but still be a heel at the same time.
And
It hadn't happened since Bret Hart, but Bret Hart was different, where he was a heel in one country and a face in another.
Yeah.
Cena was more, he's a heel babyface at all times. Like,
yeah,
he's the company man, and nobody likes the company man. My only issue with the match is I think Cena doesn't get enough of the upper hand. I think Punk has too much of the upper hand.
Throughout the match.
I think if Cena absolutely lays waste to Punk this entire match, and then Punk somehow wins, I think it's perfect. Absolutely.
No,
perfect.
I disagree with that, though, because you have to establish that Punk is an entity, and he is, in fact, the best in the ring. Because that's the whole thing. It was like, my problem is that you run around like you're the best. I'm the best. So without Punk proving that he's a better in-ring performer than Cena, I don't think some of that dynamic plays out as well.
But I never thought that was true to begin with. I actually think John Cena is the best. Nobody has more great matches than John Cena.
He gets the opportunity to. He gets the rest of the best. And he's on every pay-per-view.
Eventually, when you look back on their legacy, the legacy is Punk liked to talk about being the best more.
Or Cena really actually was. And that might not. If he's still around, you might not think that, because I feel like guys are way more athletic and are doing crazier things that like you saw guys like Punk do. Now everyone does it. You know, like I think Rollins is probably a much more competent, athletic wrestler than Punk is. I think Styles is the best in the world.
I think Ambrose is very much a lot like Punk, and I think
Punk was
Ambrose
is a more interesting, less predictable storyteller in the ring.
I think Ambrose is the extension, like the future extension of where Punk would have been.
Oh God, that would be terrible.
Dean
Ambrose is the worst.
Really in-depth analysis from Grizz. So the match, like I said earlier, where it shapes the future of WWE, like the Montreal Screwjob, the end echoes the Montreal Screwjob, where Vince McMahon comes out while he's got Punk in the STF. He comes out with John Laurinaitis. He sends John Laurinaitis down to ring the bell.
I miss John Laurinaitis.
John Laurinaitis is my favorite GM figure of anything besides Vince McMahon. John Laurinaitis is strong number 2 because he's the incompetent boss that we all have. He encompasses that perfectly. Like, I don't need fucking Stephanie McMahon being the best face and the best heel in the company. Give me an incompetent boss that thinks he's doing the right thing. Also, he's John Cena's step.
Yeah. Now, though. Not the time, right?
He's John Cena's step. What is he? Stepdad?
Yeah, I think so. So I think he's his stepfather.
Yeah. Also, he has the worst voice I've ever heard on a human being.
Anyway. Funkhauser. That was one of my favorite things about Punk getting to talk all the time, was calling him Funkhauser.
He does sound like Super Dave.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the match ends in a Montreal Screwjob type way where Vince wants the bell rung, but then Cena stops Laurinaitis on the way. So he jumps back in the ring. Guy. Punk hits Cena with the go to sleep, pins him. Crowd goes absolutely bonkers. And because it's a Money in the Bank show, Vince stops the music, calls down Del Rio. Del Rio gets in the ring, gets kicked in the head.
Yep.
And Punk takes off through the crowd, and it is. I remember thinking, I can't believe I stopped watching wrestling for this long. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen on television.
Is that the best pay-per-view finish you can think of off the top of your head? I mean, that's got to be maybe just under NWO Hogan.
NWO Hogan, Andre,
the Screwjob.
Cena. The Screwjob wasn't a great finish when you go back and watch it because it was legitimately real and people were pissed.
Yeah, but that's a great finish.
No, we were in the dark.
Fuck Montreal.
People in the crowd were pissed. People at home were pissed. They didn't know that. They didn't know the background of it. This we got to look in on the fake version of it.
I will argue that the Daniel Bryan winning the title is probably just above this at WrestleMania 30. I think that's probably one of the most satisfying stories.
I think this one's pretty satisfying.
In the history of wrestling, that's one of the most satisfying stories. Because it was a complete story told, which doesn't happen often.
Punk leaves with the belt in his hometown, in the crowd, being draped by fans.
So here's where we get into my issues with the whole story.
Blowing kisses goodbye and waving to Vince McMahon as the show ends.
Yeah, that was perfect. It's a perfect visual. So here's where I get into my issue with the whole story. They did it the wrong time.
He goes away for a couple of weeks, right?
He only goes away for a couple of weeks. If Money in the Bank and SummerSlam were separated by months,
March to August type of deal.
Second episode in a row, Grizz has yawned while we're talking about our classic match. I'm talking about, like, Punk should have been gone. They should have had all new champions, everything. Get to Survivor Series, and that's when Punk fights the champion. Punk being gone for 3 weeks makes it all not matter.
You think that WWE was just afraid that he would lose his heat?
I don't know if they were afraid it would lose his heat. I think they just wanted to make SummerSlam a big deal, and they didn't have anywhere to go. Like, after Punk... So, the story gets weird after Punk loses. Grizz, were you watching it this time or no?
No.
So, basically, Punk beats Cena. Cena gets fired. They start a tournament that Cena cannot be a part of to be WWE champion. That night, they don't finish the tournament. They get to the finals, and it's going to be Miz versus Rey Mysterio. Triple H comes out before the main event, fires Vince McMahon because the board said so. So Triple H is in charge.
Incompetent,
the next week, Rey Mysterio, I think it's Rey Mysterio and The Miz. Rey Mysterio and The Miz fight each other in the first match of Raw. Rey Mysterio wins the title. Triple H names John Cena the number one contender. Rey Mysterio has to fight John Cena for the title. So Punk has only gone 2 weeks. John Cena wins the title back. Then CM Punk shows up 2 weeks later. So then you get CM Punk, John Cena at SummerSlam. Then for some reason, the entire company decides to go on strike.
Against
Triple H.
Against Triple
Even
H.
Mike Chioda cuts a promo about how he feels in danger in the ring. So then CM Punk,
terrible.
CM Punk, John Cena, Sheamus, and Triple H decide they're going to put on an entire show by themselves.
I really wish I watched all of this.
It wasn't good, man.
It's nuts talking about it, but it wasn't good. Anyway, everyone gives in. They're back in. So we have a SummerSlam main event, champion, CM Punk, John Cena, special guest referee Triple H. The match ends with CM Punk pinning Cena with Triple H counting, but Cena's foot is underneath the ropes. And then after that match, for no apparent reason and no talk before, Kevin Nash comes out, powerbombs John Cena. Alberto Del Rio cashes in his Money in the Bank, and Alberto Del Rio is the champion. So the Summer of Punk becomes Kevin Nash versus Triple H. Actually, Triple H fought CM Punk. Guess who won that match? Triple H. And then Kevin Nash fought Triple H in a sledgehammer on a fucking ladder match? What? And Alberto Del Rio is the champion.
Well, the plan was Punk Nash, and Nash was like unable to compete.
But Nash was able to compete with Triple H? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, but that's why it became Triple H Punk. And Triple H decided that he's not coming back to put somebody over. He's not coming out of retirement to put somebody over. So he beats them, and he goes back into retirement.
Nonsense.
I mean, Triple H's ego might be an issue for the company.
He put Daniel Bryan over. He knows when he has to put people over.
I mean, you have to put your biggest. I mean, he was out selling merchandise against Cena. Like he had more merchandise than Cena. I mean, Punk was more or less the show at that time. It was him and Cena, and you have to put your big guy over. You just signed him to a contract. You just had this great storyline that brings in new viewers that's getting written about in like mainstream sports sites and shit. And you can't come out of retirement, wrestle a couple of matches, and not put over your big guy. It would be like Triple H beating Styles right now. For no
You don't know
particular
that's not. Yeah, but no, and John Cena's going to beat Styles right now.
Yeah, but at least John Cena's going to wrestle every week.
Is he going to wrestle every week? Because he's been on the show. He's been on the show here and there.
Yeah, but
even though he made fun of The Rock for doing that.
When he was the U.S. champ last year, he was wrestling quite a bit.
Yeah, well, this isn't last year. This is this year.
Paul, you agree that you have to, if you're the WWE, Triple H either doesn't come out of retirement or he puts Punk over.
Triple H should have lost that match to Punk. There's no reason Triple H should have won that match.
They wrote him into a corner.
Triple H, I think, eventually learns his lesson because he later on puts Bryan over multiple times. He puts the Shield, and I think he put Bryan over because he had to, but I think he puts the Shield over because he wanted to.
Yeah, because I think he genuinely likes Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, and
I feel like
Roman Reigns.
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I think the reason why he put Daniel Bryan over eventually is because he had to. I mean, the crowd rioted at Royal Rumble. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
2 years in a row. Poor Rey Mysterio got put in that death spot. Also on that show, a match we need to go back to, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan is a great match. But I think Triple H only puts over the people he really wants to put over unless he has to. If you look at the opening to WWE, you know how they do that Legends thing where they show all the
then now always.
You get like Andre the Giant, one other person, and Triple H is there third. He's ahead of Stone Cold. He's ahead of Bret Hart. He's ahead of Shawn Michaels. Like, the guy does a lot of good. He does a lot of good, but his ego is awfully big. I mean, as it should be, I guess. If I was one of the best at my profession, I'd want to be up there.
Even what's going on right now, where he comes out, he gives Owens the belt, and he just disappears because he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to be on the show when there's bad ratings.
I mean, that's a lot of I think that's the point. I also think the point is that he wants to be on. He's going to be on WrestleMania because he deserves a WrestleMania match, and it's Rollins Triple H, and you can't hold out a match for that long if he's on TV regularly. I don't know. I think the summer
he's going to be back next week or sometime in January.
Yeah,
because he's waiting for Monday Night Football to be over.
I think he's going to help eliminate Rollins in the Royal Rumble. I think Rollins is going to be one of the final two in the Royal Rumble, and one of the final four in the Royal Rumble, and Rollins is going to get eliminated. Also, if things go the correct way, James Ellsworth should be one of the final four. Anyway, besides that point.
One of my favorite Royal Rumble moments is when I was convinced that Santino had won.
That was an incredible moment. That was the 40-man. That was great.
Yeah, I was convinced Santino won.
Santino had a moment like that with the Elimination Chamber against Daniel Bryan a couple years later, which was great too. The Summer of Punk, a lot of people remember fondly. I think of it as kind of bullshit besides this one match.
And the 3-week lead up.
The 3-week, that started, Money in the Bank was June.
Yeah.
I think the Summer of Punk is...
Money in the Bank was July. Capital Punishment was in June.
Either way, the Summer of Punk, I think, is a little bit bullshit, and I think wrestling fans do this where in the moment they think things suck, and then they go back and they look fondly on the past. They can never appreciate what's in front of them.
Yeah.
Very rarely do they appreciate what's in front of them. And then they go back and they're like, oh, that was so great, why don't we do more of that? And then they'll go back and do more of that, and it won't work. People will do the same exact thing. They'll just say things are bullshit.
Yeah, Punk after they botched the ending of the Summer of Punk, he did go on to be one of the longest reigning champions of all time, but it never really felt as good as it did then. Now,
I can't think of too many main events he had. He had the TLC main event. Casino was on the show, and then the Cena.
He was the champion. He was the champion, but Cena was still the main eventer.
I also think the Rock bullshit. Oh yeah. I love Rocky. I do. But that main event at WrestleMania 29 also should have been Punk Cena.
Which one? Were we at 29?
Yeah.
Yeah. That Punk Undertaker match was the best match on that card.
Punk and Undertaker put on a good match, and Undertaker was not hitting it out of the ballpark at the time. And that was a surprisingly Punk crowd.
And if Paul Bearer did not lose, there would have been a whole lot more support for Punk.
If he didn't lose?
Yeah, his life.
He lost his life.
His life.
Yeah. That was
I've had a lot of wine at this point.
Remember, we were convinced that he faked his death just so he could show up at that match.
I also convinced you guys a week ago that Eddie Guerrero has faked his death for about 10 years.
I'm still not putting that past him.
That Punk promo where he steals the urn is pretty fantastic, yeah. And he talks with it.
Yeah, that was good.
Can you only talk as the urn?
Yes!
Yeah. So, final thoughts on the summer of Punk? Paul, you said yours. You think it's all bullshit. You miss it. It wasn't as good as it should have been.
I think it's looked fondly upon for
Kevin Nash. I said you and Kevin Nash.
A great reason. I think Kevin Nash. What do you think a Kevin Nash Punk match would have been like in that? Do you think it would have been any good? I don't think it would have been good.
Barely able to move. Was this right before the text message?
This was the text message that said, "Stick the winner." Do you know who sent that text message?
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. He sent a text message from Triple H's phone to himself. That's how that storyline went.
Yeah.
I remember watching that Sledgehammer match with my brother because maybe we had just moved down to Florida, or he moved down to Florida, so we didn't know a lot of people. We started watching wrestling a little bit. We ordered that pay-per-view, and the two of us looked at each other and just it was the last time we agreed on anything. It's terrible. This is absolutely awful.
All right, Grizz, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the pipe bomb. I like that during his pipe bomb he brought up New Japan and Ring of Honor because they really didn't mention other companies.
I mean, I feel like that gave a whole lot of legitimacy to New Japan and Ring of Honor of your everyday fan too.
Yeah, that's true too. But like think about it. Other than that, I know there was a point where Matt Hardy brought up Ring of Honor when he was feuding with Edge with the whole Lita thing. Other than those two, and then now, more recently, they talk about New Japan a lot.
Yeah.
Because of Gallows, Anderson, Styles, but, you never heard them talk about that back then.
They would very rarely talk about any other promotion.
Yeah, no, they never did. They never
unless they were mocking the old guys at WCW in the late 90s.
Yeah, but they wouldn't never even say WCW. They would mock them, but they would never say WCW. Yeah. So I enjoyed that. It was a good promo, and I didn't go as deep into it as you guys, so I didn't get let down.
I just wish that Punk was around for this new wave of guys that are super talented.
With all the other Ring of Honor guys, yeah.
Yeah, or Rollins and Owens.
Punk Rollins would be a great match. Punk Styles would be a great match.
They've had that though.
Yeah, but not for me.
Not on WWE.
Not for me while I was watching.
I mean, I don't know.
Do we get Punk Bryan? We got Punk Bryan at some point, right?
We did get Punk Bryan. It was actually after Punk won the title. Bryan won, I guess, one of those fastest challenge things. They did a whole bunch of, and we got a couple of Punk Bryan Extreme. It was where the AJ Lee thing came into play.
Yeah, they always misuse.
That was when AJ Lee became a big star because
she's really good looking.
Because she's really good looking, and they had that whole thing where she wanted to be with Punk, she wanted to be with Bryan, and then she made them commit.
They did that with them.
They
did it with Cena
and Ziggler.
And I think there was someone else too.
Could be, right?
Oh shit! My headphones are about to die.
We gotta finish up.
Plug one for the cord.
I have one headphone.
Grizzly, do you have any input on CM Punk here?
Yeah, CM Punk, get over yourself.
He will.
What were your thoughts? Did you really think?
Pop.
I think Shane McMahon was. I don't know. Do you think Punk's going to top Shane McMahon? I think there's a lot of It depends on the city. They'll probably do it in Chicago, which would be a big pop. But I think, I hold a lot of ill will as a wrestling fan towards Punk. I get your problem,
for the same
but
reason
you don't just leave.
That pipe bomb thing was about, though. Yeah, it was the same shit.
They gave him the title for a goddamn full year.
But they gave him the title. He was essentially the IC champion, and John Cena was the champion without a belt.
He can get over himself. He's a Hall of Famer.
That's why that was my advice to CM Punk. Get over yourself.
He never got his WrestleMania main event.
Who gives a fuck about? You know how many guys can get WrestleMania events?
If he hung around a little longer, maybe he would have got a WrestleMania main event.
Do you want to talk about all the greats that didn't get WrestleMania main events?
Let's talk about all the greats that don't even have title reigns. Roddy Piper never had a title.
Roddy Piper had 2 WrestleMania main events.
Yes.
But he didn't have a title.
He wasn't a great in-ring wrestler.
Disagree.
Enjoyed Roddy Piper.
Disagree. Watch Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, Intercontinental title match. It will change your mind on Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was in the ring with guys who could not wrestle.
And you're going to talk about the dead like that? You sick
No, I love Roddy Piper. I think he's one of the greatest heels of all time, if not the...
I think he's not just one of the greatest heels. He's also a great face.
Yeah, he was a fantastic face.
He's one of the greatest wrestling personalities of all time.
Yes.
Also,
a great personality.
Also, 2 people that are very underrated. One of them, you guys are going to expect. The second, you're going to be like, Paul, you're crazy. Rick Rude.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And the model, Rick Martel. Rick Martel, do not fucking hate, is an all-time great. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He never had never had a bad performance.
I don't remember enough Rick Martel stuff.
CJ knows a lot about bad performances.
Yeah. I listen to this podcast regularly.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
I do.
You have to.
It's my job.
It's your job. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, and don't forget it, chump.
We only pay you in a double XL Bucks uniforms, jerseys.
And double XL what?
Bucks jerseys. Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Pirates are not Bucks.
They call them the Bucks, though. That's one of their nicknames.
Well, they shouldn't. That's just wrong.
They're Pirates. Pirates, Buccaneers are the same thing.
No, they're just different things.
I don't think so. I think they're synonymous.
Agree to disagree.
All right, we're going to wrap this episode up. We got something to look forward to next week. Paulie Terrible.
We're going to do the 1992 Royal Rumble.
In honor of this month, I would like to watch the 1992 Royal Rumble.
Are we going to do a Royal Rumble every week leading up to the Royal Rumble?
Paulie Terrible, you have any last words before you shut down?
You hear that?
What?
You don't hear it? You don't hear that? It's my watch. It's saying something.
What's it saying?
It's clobbering time!
All right. CJ, last words before we close this episode out?
CM Punk, this podcast went 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Well, not really, because I'm going to edit a lot of stuff out. But
you've been talking 2 hours and 15 minutes, CM Punk. You couldn't go 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh, got him.
I like you a lot, CM Punk. It was really brave of you at your age to wrestle, to do the UFC for the first time. Come back to wrestling, you were good at it.
How come it's brave of him to do a UFC at his age, and it's not brave of me to do wrestling at my age?
Oh, it's super brave of you. I'm stoked about it. I can't wait to help you write promos.
Nice. All right, cool. And CM Punk, get over yourself. Come back. It's what the people want, and you got to pander to the people because that's how the world works.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
AJ Lee, come back too.
Yeah, because we love you, and you're from New Jersey, and we're from New Jersey.
Next time I'm at a wrestling event in New Jersey, I will chant AJ Lee.
All right, I do that anyway.
Do you really?
Last time I was at a wrestling event in New Jersey. Oh no, it wasn't the last time. 2 times ago was a Monday Night Raw where she popped up and helped Paige fight against the Bellas to lead into WrestleMania. It was in Newark, but wait, did she show up that day? I think so.
Where would AJ Lee?
John Stewart was there. He's also from New Jersey. Anyway, let's close the show out, and then we'll do our own thing.
Question. AJ Lee, where would she fit in the women's division these days? Mid card?
AJ Lee would be the champion.
You think so? On Raw?
I would very much like to see AJ Lee and Alexa Bliss for multiple reasons. One, they're both total babes.
Okay.
2, they're both super tiny, and they would evenly match against each other. 3, they're both total babes. 4, I'm the Grizz. Good night, good evening, and goodbye.